Hi, so talking about dehydration and water intake. Why is this so important? How much should I drink? What's going to be affected by this are some of the questions we're going to address. So we'll start with the first one is how much water should I be drinking a day? So to start with, I'm going to give it depends, but baseline, there's a lot of different ways you can look into this. There's a lot of different kind of ways to remember it. Way I remember, one I recommend would just be so your weight in kilograms and then drink that many ounces of water is what you weigh in kilograms. So for example, about 170 pounds, so I'm about 70 kilograms, and so I should be drinking about 70 ounces of water per day. That's kind of the baseline, which is, like I said, it will vary a lot between things that you're doing. So especially with 4th of July coming, there tends to be a little bit more alcohol. We're at a higher elevation, higher temperatures throughout the summer. That 70 ounces of water should increase, but especially if I'm not drinking that 70 ounces, it's a big concern. And why that is concerning, I'll go back one quick step. So a couple other things you can gauge on if you're drinking enough water is one, seeing kind of how many bottles you've gone through. Typically nowadays, I see people a lot more often that are carrying a water bottle with them. So it's good to see that people are thinking about this, but it's definitely something we know we should do, but we probably don't do as much as we should. But a factor that you can check is urine color. So I mean, if it's super clear, you're probably drinking enough water. It's not a foolproof plan either, but if your urine color is the one that always, again, good reminder, apple juice, urine color are not good. When those are the same color, that's not a good combination. It could be a lot of other things, but just in the sense of sticking to this topic, if your water intake is really low and it's really dark like that, you should definitely increase that water intake. It's a good sign that you're not drinking enough. And then going into, again, why this is important is one, I mean, some of the things that you're going to create problems with if you're not drinking enough water, things like headache, and that's a common one I talk to patients about a lot, fatigue, lightheaded, just in general, healing process is a huge factor that if your body doesn't have the right amount of water running through to push things around, it will delay healing of something like back pain, ankle sprain, things like that. So simple way to get things to heal faster is drinking more water will help contribute to that. And things like heat stroke, heat exhaustion, especially, like I said, during the summer months, out on the lake, whatever the case, is a big concern if you're not getting enough water. And then last, I wanted to mention things like kind of things that will alter that. So speaking of activities, so a common one that kind of goes into this is if you're drinking, or if your activity is less than an hour, good rule of thumb, you don't necessarily need the things like the Gatorade, the electrolyte added anything. So that's just going to add in a little bit of that extra sodium, extra usually sugar and calories that you probably don't need. Anything over that hour in length, so if you're going for a long run, bike ride, whatever in the summertime that's more than an hour, you probably do need to get something like that Gatorade to replenish some of those the electrolytes that you're losing. Or again, that idea that people are different is if you're a big sweater and you're doing some of those shorter activities and sweating a whole lot, you do need to replace some of those electrolytes. So there's a few things to think about for you, and especially going into summertime and 4th of July. Just being careful on making sure that you are drinking enough and being aware of when you aren't, what to do and how to monitor that and to be able to address that as things come. So if you have any questions, I'm Dr. Darren Howarth with Summit to Shore Chiropractic. Have a good and safe 4th of July, and we'll talk to you soon.